Hello everybody, welcome back with a brand new episode of the Binding of Isaac Repentance. I think it's about time we do a Lost Run. We have a lot of things that we need to do with this character. And I think it's about this time where, you know, I've contributed to, you know, doing better, I guess, with all characters, except for thou shall not be named. And I'm just coming to the point where we just need a lot of things done, unfortunately. So strap in, strap on, we're in for a ride today. Now the only thing that's different between last episode and this episode is I'm extremely hyper. The seed is 3FFQ something 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 because past me hates future me, and yeah, that's why we're here. But yes, we have that is a very main difference. So right now, this is sort of day one of my new diet slash new me, if you will, and I'm getting ahead of schedule, and we got this one of the greatest items. In my opinion, maybe not as the Lost, but hey, short and stout tiers, I will always take. Like, that brings up our damage to like mega tiers, but short range, and we have a shotgun, so we could virtually take out any item or any character we really need. Now, this is a turning point where it's just like, well, what do I need as the Lost? So I decide very early on, I don't really want to go for the mother route. I just want to go for the beast route. I feel like it's maybe easier. Pentagram is a fantastic item, and I just feel great. You know, I feel fantastic. Hyperness is basically, like, I feel good. Like, it's not that I just feel good, but I feel like my mindset is really positive as well. So I'm not used to positivity. I'm really not. And I'm very thoughtful. I'm very like, hey, you know, maybe we could do something today. You know, today won't be a complete failure or waste of time. So I basically am sort of trucking in a weird way, and this feeling is very new to me. It's extremely new to me. Where it's not just like this recording session is just like, well, wow, I have to do a lot to virtually like be positive. You know, I'm literally changing my mind, and you know, 3FFQYFL2, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Thanks, past me, for screwing up. I mean, it's already a gosh darn good run already. I think we could maybe defeat Dogma, but as I've said before, I would love a holy card, and I'd really love that. So 2 bad items, but we got $3 bill. Is it a good item? In this situation, no. I love $3 bill. It's a make-believe item, if you will. It could give us something spectacular, or it could just basically ruin the whole run. And that's basically it. I don't know if you've ever had a point of your life where you're just like, wow, I'm really, like, defeated, you know, and that's virtually how I am, how I've been feeling, and, you know, I'm happy, don't get me wrong, but I know that I can be happier. You know, like I said, as silly as that sounds, it's one of those things where I'm just like, I just want to feel good, and changing diets, you know, taking more vitamins, you know, especially lately, you know, I've been trying to take more vitamin C for more energy and everything. And one a day is just not doing it anymore. I mean, I don't think it personally ever did anything for me, but I'm really trying my best, and, you know, sometimes trying new things, really, it sort of motivates you. And that's really how I'm feeling right now, where it's day one, obviously. You know, do I see instant changes? Yeah, I do, actually. I like, the simple change that I did is I didn't take any drug or anything. I took tea. Okay, so what I did is I simply took caffeine tea, but also I took sleepy tea, so I could sleep well. And honestly, I never tried crazy tea in my life. Like, it's herbal tea, where I used to drink a lot of tea back in the day, but I never thought, you know, I figured I wanted to change it up. And due to my limitations with funds, I can't really try a lot of new things. And, you know, I really want to say thank you, Ori, in the community for, you know, helping, basically saying, hey, work on yourself. And, you know, it really goes a long way, as silly as that sounds. Having energy is great, but also to say, like, a lot of people take it for granted, where, hey, buddy, I just can't sleep. And then when you finally get a good night's sleep, like, I just unlocked the third sense. You know, that's how it personally feels to me, where sleeping a normal amount of time, having energy for that, really changed me. And it's not even day one, okay? But I have never felt this good in a very, very long time. And it's tea. It's called Celestial Energy Tea, and then Celestial Sleepy Tea. Now, it's not really that expensive, but, you know, it's something that I really want to try, you know. And, you know, I saw it at the grocery store, and I'm like, let's do it. I have no reason not to better myself at this point, where it's not, like, nobody has ever said, Joe, I don't like you, or I don't like how you act, or whatnot. It's just me trying to work out my flaws, which is very, very hard to do. Very, very hard to do. But I'm happy. You know, I'm very, very happy. I hate this boss. It's a very, very scary boss right now. You know, I gotta be honest with myself and fix it. Like, sleep is just effing amazing. Like, I'm not gonna, like, I could virtually scream at the top of my lungs in, like, pleasure. That sounds that sounds naughty. Be like, ah, yes, that's what you get for watching my streams live. But yeah, I can't. I have a stupid smile on my face, and, you know, I hope it lasts. I really do. And I just want to put out great content for you, and that's really what it is. That's really what it is, because for the first time in a while, I got inside my own head. It's not a fun thing to do. When you're on empty, okay, and you're trying to push through life, or let's say making a video, or trying to be entertaining, I notice it really well, where I'm just like, oh my god, I am becoming toxic, or I'm basically hating myself. But, you know, maybe I put a goal in mind, or, you know, especially old me, where I'm just like, hey, I want this to be done every stream, and, you know, if I'm not, then, you know, yada yada yada. It's one of those things, unfortunately, where for me, I can't allow myself to do that anymore. I just can't. I really, really can't, because I think of it as like Venom. Like it's silly. It's really, really silly. And the Whiz is one of those items that could be amazing, or it could just destroy me, unfortunately. And unfortunately, I also get 2 active items that really screw me over right there, but hey. But, yeah, I said to myself, you know, this is how long I'm gonna stream for, or this is how long, I want the goals to reach X, Y, and Z factor, but I was sort of happy where maybe I went on, like, 5 minutes of negativity, or I'm just like, I just can't take it anymore, or whatnot. It affects people. You know, it affects people in a very, very bad way. But if you don't realize it, it's a completely different story. You know, I was very lucky where I somewhat had 6 months to a year to realize how toxicity could really affect me. And, why am I grateful for that to happen? So, like, if I didn't see it, right, then I wouldn't really know what to look for, if that makes sense. So, I'm very happy, I'm very lucky, but, unfortunately, I'm one of those people that still get toxic, be it if I have lack of sleep, you know, I'm hungry, or I'm just overall having one of those off days. So, to have it in, like, the opposite way, where it doesn't always have to be negative, or it doesn't always have to be, you know, I have to be feeling miserable or something. Sometimes you need to venture off and maybe take something that, you know, it's worth a shot. And, you know, I'm very lucky of the community that I have been given the opportunity to. You know, it's not that I try to be silly. It's just, I try, the one thing that I really push for is communication, in my content, because without communication, just like a relationship, so technically, on YouTube, I guess I'm dating, like, over 300 people. I guess I'm dating over 300 people, and you just don't know it yet. But, I like to communicate, be if we're talking maybe on the Discord, or, like, doing the Discord streams or something. I like to be like, hey, you know, this is how I'm feeling, but the weird thing is, just like a relationship, people know how you're feeling without saying anything. Because one of my things is, well, if I don't communicate, let's just say, people know in the community something's off. Something is off, be like, oh my god, you know, what's happened? And I sort of like that. I really sort of really like that, where something is wrong, where not everybody, you know, likes how I talk or how I think about something things. Certain people don't even like how I dress sometimes, and that's completely fine by me. But people need to understand one thing, is I set a goal for myself to be more out of the box, if you will, where if I'm not, like, if I'm normal for my standards, I feel like I'm doing something wrong at this point, where normal is normal. Okay, normal is fine to a degree. But I don't know, for me, I'm just like, well, let me try to switch up the formula in a little bit, you know? And it's weird, but reinventing yourself once in a while is completely normal. Where I know how times have changed. I know that, you know, what people want to see and everything. I like to keep my little bit of flair on it, and I like to personally keep how I'm doing. So for me, see, I wish I kept Shoop to Whoop here. I really genuinely wish I kept Shoop to Whoop. Especially for the Bloody Charge. I think Shoop to Whoop could have destroyed the world at this point. But, yeah. Reinventing yourself, completely normal. And do I wish I've done it sooner? I don't know. And that's the thing where it gets tricky. Because nobody has ever been like, well, I don't like you, or, you know, X, Y, and Z. It's sort of like I wanted to do it. Where the first change was to not get angry at simple things. The second change was just like, be happy with what I produce sometimes. Where I have to give myself some slack. And if I don't... Ooh, that's tasty. Revelation. And if I don't, well, I need to learn. I need to learn to give myself some credit. And virtually, the other thing is... pushing myself. Pushing myself in the way where I want to push myself almost all the way. You know, that may sound overdoing it. You know, I have some lovely people that are just like, hey, you know, you push yourself enough or something. Where that could be possibly true. That very much could be possibly true here. But if I don't think I'm doing it, you know, if I don't think I'm pushing myself, then I need to reevaluate certain things. Where with the Binding of Isaac, I take pride in the Binding of Isaac. I think a lot of people generally come for the Binding of Isaac for right now. Where do I think I'm getting somewhat of a repertoire for the Binding of Isaac? Possibly, maybe. I don't really know. You know, nobody has ever said, like, hey, I really like your Binding of Isaac content. This is what I come for your channel for. And I'd be like, thank you. Like, thank you. Like, I take pride in it. I've learned how to do it really well. And, but it's been done. You know, I know there's people out there that do it better than me, but it's not really like, hey, I wanted to do this to get views. I wanted to do YouTube simply because one reason and one reason alone, I wanted to. And that it's a very silly thing to be like, yes, I wanted this. Like, I wanted to do Isaac because it's been a goal of mine. Where anything really is sort of extra. And I don't really mind that. Like, I generally don't mind that right now. Because, simply put, I like this. I like how it's going. And sometimes you sort of have to do the good and the bad. Because it's not what the people want. Okay, nobody was ever like, hey, you know, this is... I want this and I want it now every day. No. Like, I wish I could just be like, yes, absolutely, people told me to do Isaac. But no, sometimes what I've realized, okay, there needs to be a nice mixture of what people want mixed with what I want to do. And I think that's fair. And that was the change that I really had to finagle. Where it sounds easy. It really does, but after so many years really not caring, because it's easier for me not to care and then push so much effort through. That's just prefer how I do things. Where I will honestly say, hey, I don't care. But 9 times out of 10, it's probably the project that I really care about the most. Where I can't tell you on how many times I've said, like, hey, look, I don't care about Twitch. you know, then the simple answer is, then why are you doing it? Or, like, I don't care about my well-being simply because I'm not there yet mentally, if that makes sense. I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I want to be there. I totally want to get there. But as of right now, I just don't care. And that's how I process things, where, okay, well now I'm learning, hey, you know, it's okay to care. It's okay to be better than what you were before. And saying virtually take one day at a time, it's a thing. It's really a thing, because for example, let me give you a hot example right now. The stream that I fell off with, where I really felt like a failure, it was all in my mind, because everything was pretty much normal, if not better than normal. But my brain, somehow, some way, was just like, something is wrong. And I didn't have a meltdown, thank goodness. I really don't want to have one meltdown at all. Like, I really wholeheartedly do not want to have any more meltdowns. For the rest of the year, I hope. You know, it's easier said than done, unfortunately. Guardian Angel, and I risk it for the soul. The soul does absolutely nothing for the lost. I should have taken the angel, but in my mind, it wasn't gonna work because I have Isaac's heart. So that's my new, you know, they're not trying to hit me here. They're trying to hit me on my heart, which I can't unfortunately guard. But I think it's silly. You know, I had a very bad month. Mentally, I guess is the word, but so many things have been going on where I'm just like, okay, you know, it's okay to a certain extent.
Range.
It's okay to a certain extent, because virtually speaking, I've had a very bad month, you know, mentally, because it may not have been a good month, but why was it a bad month? Simply because, like, it had nothing to do with Twitch or YouTube. It had more things to do with me. I slept a lot, and that doesn't sound like a problem, but when I'm sleeping or going to bed at like 5 a.m. or whatnot, it really takes a toll on you. And that's never happened to me before, where especially as an adult, I don't sleep that long. Like, I'm lucky if I get sleep at all, and I'm like, at first, like, this is great, I'm finally sleeping again. But not wanting to, like, one, either be productive or not, like, wake up at all. It's a very, very bad attitude on how to look at things. But so I really had to, in a way, unfortunately, sort of overcome a lot, and be like, hey, you know, there's something wrong here. What could I do to either fall asleep on time or have more energy, because the stuff that I'm doing isn't really working, you know? So I'm ingrained right now with a lot of, I guess, working in a way, trying to put out good content for everybody watching. And I feel good, you know. The greatest thing is, you know, having a schedule, as silly as that sounds, trying to be better. Like I said, the day that I was before. And unfortunately, I got a get out of jail free card. I should have bought the other card as well, but unfortunately, I didn't have enough money to do that. I did, actually. I did, because there was a few cents on the way, but a get out of jail free card was pretty good. I don't know personally why there's money following me at all, but yeah. And let me know, maybe in the comments down below, let me know if you had any, you know, trouble sleeping, or, you know, what was the greatest thing in recent memory that you've overcome mentally. But I mean, if this is your first time watching me, thank you extremely very much for watching and giving me this chance. But if you're not, you know I suffer from a lot of penalties, you know, mentally. But it's very interesting because I saw this meme, and you know me, I don't really know memes at all, but it was a good one. And it's just like, well, do you think your trauma made you stronger? And then the cartoon artist was like, no, I was 11. I'm like, I don't think I've seen anything truer than that, because depending on so many things, yeah, no, it doesn't affect you. Like, it doesn't do anything for you until later on. And unfortunately, the realism is, well, certain people don't get the opportunity to grow. I'm very lucky that what's happened, you know, made me better. And, like, it is sort of a grateful moment where it's hard to be grateful sometimes on what things happen to you. It really is. And I'm extremely fortunate, and I'm extremely glad. You know, I may joke all the time where I'm like, absolutely, I changed my name, or, you know, silly things like that. I would never change what's happened to me. You know, I would never, because I'm, like, some people think I look in the positive perspective, but it's not really like that. It's, I want to make myself better. Each and every processing day where that's how I need to process things to push forward. That's what I need, that's what I want, per se. And if I don't get there, I can't give up. I've given up on myself, which is an oxymoron, because if I've given up on myself, then I don't really want to improve. So it's literally, it's really one of those things, and I don't think oxymoron was even the right word there, because that generally doesn't make sense. But roll with it, roll with it. You know, make fun of me in the comments, but just roll with the conversation. But yeah, no, now the question is, would I rather take sleep or energy? And that's the thing. I think you need both. Okay, to have a productive day or feel good. Because for me, it's not a simple thing. Hey, Joe, just drink coffee. Lol. No. Coffee does not help my predicament. If it helps you, awesome. It just doesn't help me whatsoever. I feel like coffee, especially, it will make me crash. And I really don't like crashing. It's super, super weird with coffee, because, yeah, is it great? Absolutely, it's great. Come on now. But it also stinks when you have to basically say to yourself, oh yeah, great. And also, I'm gonna say this here, I wish I took the red candle then invulnerability. And I think it's fine. I don't think, like, it's gonna make or break me at all. And this room was 9 times out of 10 scary, because I literally almost died there, just heads up. But hey, if I went back in time, I would totally take the red candle, because one, the red candle I think is better than Manpack, but also I don't think it would have, like I said, it doesn't really change the picture here. And the other thing that I probably would have done to risk it all is I would have came back, go get the dice, re-roll that, maybe get like Brimstone or something, and just get crazy. But, yeah, no, I mean, it's the crazy factor that, you know, we all have something wrong with us. I mean, that's my opinion. But I like a lot of things wrong with me. I really do, and, you know, maybe it's all in my head and I'm crazy. I don't really care at this point. Where it's more of a mentality thing than anything for me. Where I like certain things, I want to be better at certain things, hence gives me the motivation to make me better. And, you know, V, if you're with me or not, because too much strain on your body will forcibly make your body shut down. And that's happened to me. That's very possible on what happened to me last Friday night. Dun, 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 dun. I don't know the words, but roll through. Last Friday night. I don't personally like Katy Perry, but who hasn't heard that song? But yes, if you go stronger, whatever makes you harder. But yes, I like to be, I wouldn't say spontaneous now, but I would have to say I'm very grateful for being extremely goofy. And I think really in recent memories, especially within the last few months, when I got better, I love exploring not exploring myself per se, but what I will say is
just keep pushing me like this.
Being more who I am and not really, I have no reserves. That's the best way to put it. That is generally the best way of putting it. Where reserves are fine. Reserves are sincerely fine. But what was wrong with me before? Lack of energy, sleeping too much, no motivation. And motivation, like, it's great, yet also a double-edged sword. Because virtually, in my mind, you got to see it from my perspective. Okay, well, what's the point of doing YouTube? What's the point of doing Twitch? And there is no point. And that's the factor where there is no point. And the sooner that, you know, I say, hey, there's no point, and, you know, maybe it's to make people feel good, I need to give a reason. And mainly part of the reason is YouTube I could drop tomorrow. YouTube I could generally drop tomorrow because it's not even a year in at this point. But I feel like I shouldn't technically give up on this, even if I don't have a reason, if that makes sense. And I've told people, and I've said it multiple times, next year is going to be a very crucial year, because next year I'd really like to go ham. And if you don't know that definition ham, I'll cook ham for you. But next year, I think what I'm just going to do is very, very simple. Put goals that I want to do. 12 years, geez, no. Maybe I could go 12 years. I'm technically almost halfway there. Next year will be halfway there on 12 years for YouTube or Twitch. But how I want to set my soul up and set my goal up is set a goal, make the goal sort of me focused, and not really put numbers on it. Like, yeah, I could, like, one thing that I've realized is if you're gonna put numbers, put a realistic number. You can't really get realistic numbers until your first year anyway. And, like, you can't just go out there and be like, hey, I'm gonna get 1 million subs in a year. You can, but I set myself up for failure for long enough, and I personally don't want to do that again. Like, I never ever said to myself, hey, I'm gonna be a millionaire YouTuber, or, like, I met somebody recently, and I'm very honest, you know, be like, it's been one of my dreams to be a content creator. And I like meeting people in the same aspect, if that makes sense. But if you don't know the full equation and the hard struggles, you'll only know the hard struggles if you've done it. And that goes for really anything. You know, I remember one of my biggest dreams was to be a Major League Baseball player. Major League! And I knew I studied, but studying everything is not the same as doing it. And after being in baseball for 7 to 9 years, it's pretty, you get the idea where it's just not easy. Like, it's not fathomable. You know, you gotta take the ratios on, you know, how lucky can you be? Or it's about luck, skill, and what you do. And virtually speaking, growing up in a small town, not really having any connections. Like, 2023 is one of those years where I'm actually going to do more collabs and, you know, getting more outside the box for myself, because that's a challenge. I don't like doing things that I think I could easily do. You know, technically you could rig the system and, you know, pay for anything now these days, but you can't pay for experience, or doing it for yourself, excuse me. And, you know, 2023 is going to be an interesting but awesome year for me, I feel. And, you know, I brushed the dirt off my pants. I put on some big girl underwear, as they say. Did I though? Maybe, I don't know. Like, you don't have the expression, put on your big boy pants. All I know is put on your big girl panties and, you know, roll with it. But, I developed, ooh, I guess. I've become better, I've become stronger, and I couldn't honestly say, I'm happy. Like, I'm very, very happy now. And, here's to day one of the change, and I hope you guys like the change. I hope you like the more positive me and everything. And, I can't wait to hear more from you in the past as well. So here we go, we're gonna take on Dogma, and hopefully we can do it. Hopefully we could do it. You know, I'm genuinely hoping here. You know, $3 bill could make a very, very big difference. And unfortunately, I don't get hit. I don't get hit whatsoever. All I need is one lucky shot. That's all. We have enough damage, and I lose my shot, and unfortunately, I die. But if you like what you saw and heard today, please do consider subscribing, liking, and leaving a comment, and I'll see you all tomorrow. I hope you're happy because you